They're going to try and catch Pelosin. Oh, no. Pelosin's got boots. So even if they hit the Frostbite hook, it's not enough for the kill.
So getting the Brood kill off the Tinker rotation, pretty nice, because now you are slowing down this Brood a little bit, and you got the Pudge to Vanguard. Middleman's going to have to wait a couple seconds to TV back. He's only level 4 to Pudge is 5. So you might be able to get this Dismember up and kill him again before Brood hits 6. I say that, and he's just getting chunked again.
Yeah, Vanguard only protects you from so much damage when you're isolated like this. Not looking so good. Maybe the Vanguard actually does help.
Damn.
Frostbite and no spells. Excuse me, Fade Bolt was just coming up. DB is now jungling, by the way.
I would recommend that, yeah. Did he get all the Vanguard rolls on that? Feels like he got like 6 or 7 in a row. What the hell is that? It's like
he was taking absolutely no damage.
Literally invincible. Imagine if they get Pudge 1 armor next patch. It's over. It's over.
Going for it again. Mid one. He's still up the hook, and they just need the lasers to deliver the finishing blow. Yowe managed to pick that one up for another 300 gold. Tinker is beginning to get to a point where he becomes a little bit of a menace. Now he's got the Blink Dagger, so.
If Tinker's becoming a menace, is this Furion becoming the Dennis? Didn't like that one. Huh?
I don't know. I don't think that one doesn't work because it's Dennis the Menace.
Yeah, so he's the first half, not the menace part. He's Dennis without the menace because he's having a rough one. He's gonna die again here.
Yeah, of course he is. It's just faded at this point in time. I mean, the Earthshaker is gonna die in return. Actually, maybe not.
I think it's fine. There's not that much damage in the tank.
Huh. DB gets an opportunity to return fire a little bit. What if the DB must have had strength treads on or something? That was a
he did.
Much tankier Furion than I'm usually expected.
I mean, it's the upside of Furion here, though. He'll catch up. You're gonna have a hero jungle. We've all been there in the pubs. You pick one hero that's gonna grief jungle. You pick Midas Furion for sure.
No doubt.
And Yowe Doom can also just make up for some of it. It's basically a pseudo 3 here. Will always find some farm, can build some utility if the team needs it, which he's going drum.
Is he a pseudo 3 or is he just a grief 4? Well, I'm pretty sure DB thinks it's a grief 4.
It's the old Schrodinger's jungler.
And the funny part is, he keeps on trying to stack. He still does not realize. I've seen him try and stack like 2 or 3 times now. He still does not realize that he has been sentry blocked.
Yeah,
that's why it's not working.
They spent 2 sentries on this and missed the exact corner where it is. So I think Clairvoyance is gonna have some words to say about that after this game. You know?
Yeah.
Take him in a little circle and be like, guys, what the hell are we doing?
Because like Furion's been dying because Yoakum's gone. Nice little hop there with the Tumbler's toy. But like he would leave to go stack, and then his Furion dies. Normally the trade-off is like, well, we got the stack. You can farm that up and recover later. He didn't even get that much though.
I mean, both these camps are blocked actually. So just early invasion by SMG. They have a lot of sentries in the enemy jungle. Afu just playing the economy game.
I mean, what are the best ways to get Tinker ahead and get him to where he needs to be, right? That you were talking about is smoke farming ancient stack, right?
Yeah, so it's a pretty good way to accelerate this hero. Otherwise, you can just fight, which he has a blink already.
Oh, he's got Doom. Yoakum is ready to threaten it on the Morphling. You know, if he catches him low agility, not being able to morph in time. Echo Slam, geez, they are giving very little chances for this Pudge to be able to get away. Now they do get the Doom out onto Moon, and with the extra bit of nukes from Yowe, they'll be able to get that kill, and maybe a little bit more actually. Afu's going to die as well. Double kill for the Doom. Okay, all right, Yoakum's just going to take the position 3 slot now, I think.
Honestly, the way this game is played out, the lanes went okay for SMG, but it doesn't feel like they're going to be able to force these towers outside of the mid one. The mid tower dying for AG is pretty sad here. They will keep it up, and I think they should prioritize this defense, but this safe lane tower being full HP, it's going to allow in your dream to stay here and just keep going on mid one. And mid one does not like this. He does not like it at all, and he has nowhere else to go. Brood is a forced lane hero. She has to go in this lane and take this tower. There is no other move you can make. So now AG can just always fight. They can bring the Tinker, they can bring the Furion, even just throw a Furion ult up there. And you have to commit on this Pudge. We saw how much it took for them to commit on him before. That's not a move SMG wants to make every time that mid one's alive. This map is, it's kind of becoming very static, and I feel like the static map does favor AG here, while the Tinker continues to come online. Rushing adds too. Shrink rate. Someone's getting shrunk.
Try and catch him. Moon is going to chase after Yowe here. He's going to undo with the swashbuckle. It might just be enough. No. The wand charges barely keep him alive. He walked back into the shield crash. He was afraid of the other side where Afu was approaching. He does have a Fisher ready to go. Yowe surrounded by heroes. SMG have brought a full party to this mid lane. They say, fine, you want to dumpster that top lane, you can have it. Mid one says, I'm back to the mid lane, baby. I never left.
Well, so much for he has no other move. I guess he did have another move. Just go and ransack mid. I don't think this move should have been that uncomfortable for AG though. I think they should have been thinking about this mid tower being low and not wanting to give it up. I felt like they got caught off guard because I think Furion can come in there. If your Maiden is set up, maybe you get a good ult, but either way, nice read from SMG. They are breaking open the static portion of this map, getting Brood out of that Pudge lane where he was struggling, and now they have a bit more space to operate with.
That's important because, like the panel identified it, we've talked about it. Both of these teams, the off lane is so important for them. DB has been a massive playmaker for Army Geniuses, and the mid one lane we have, gushed about how they just cannot seem to lose lane. Well, they did this time, and Moon gets popped by the heavy amount of nukes. Wasn't expecting the triple nuke combo just to rain down all of a sudden.
I agree with the DB sentiment. If this guy gets shut down, this feels like a different team, but I mean, he's like a max level prophet. He's definitely spammed this hero. And this is a hero that even if he has a few deaths, it doesn't necessarily derail his game. So he might just be coming back here.
So you think the shutting down mid one, you think is more impactful because of the heroes? The hero difference between the two?
1,000%. I mean, maybe the player difference too. I don't know. 1,000% because of the hero. Like, Brood game when it gets slowed down makes all our timings off. It makes this Roshan slower. It makes invading enemy jungle slower. Like, he's in mid right now. This is not where you want your Brood to be ideally. And so the hero, you're not afraid of Brood in the late game fights necessarily. You're afraid of the Brood's items in the late game fight. But the hero itself is not that terrifying, right? Whereas Furion is like, he's pretty scary with the roots and the ults and the Gleipnir and Sprout Leash versus a lot of lineups. Like, Sprout Leash is really good here. We saw this Morphling Furion matchup the other day. Remember when 23 was playing it? And that Sprout Leash destroyed him in that late.
Nobody can play up in this top lane. The safe lane is just not the place to be if you're SMG. Army Geniuses putting all their effort into defending it. So you said something that kind of pinged for me. You said this is not where you want your Broodmother to be, aka the mid lane. Well, what is, like, conceptually, there was a time where Broodmother was mid lane. You wanted her to be mid lane because she would divide the map in half. So what changed? Why, what's wrong with Broodmother being mid now?
Well, they took Ancients away, and that was a big one.
Okay.
That mid Brood was broken because she got items insanely fast off the Ancient farm. She was super high level. This is just like, it's a bit slower nowadays. It's not as scary. And the problem is, maybe this feels okay for mid one, but his team is kind of stuck in a static game, which can be okay if you trust you have better late game. But the problem is, you won't ever get the safe lane tower naturally. Like, who's going to go up here and take this? Is it on Chidori now? On this Morphling? Morphling's not bad at doing it, actually, but now you lost your offlane tower before you took the safe lane one. Mid one will invade enemy triangle here, which is a pretty nice adaptation given the map state. I do like what he's doing given the circumstances. It just feels awkward. It feels awkward when you're watching it.
His Tinker is halfway to Aghanim, so as the Ogre Axe and Booster. So he's got quite the tanky stats. This is twice now that Yowe showed up to this triangle area and is needed. This is deja vu. He just died in this exact spot. trying to control, they're trying to get back control of this triangle area, get some vision down. It's just immediately answered by SMG. So both teams have their area that they are refusing to let the enemy team into.
Yeah, this is deja vu. He just died on the spot.
Is that deja vu in my deja vu?
I don't know, but I feel like he just died on the spot.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well-timed sound effect. Thank you.
I did not
Thank you,
appreciate that slide. I did not appreciate that one. I don't know how he did it right then or what he was doing it for.
Yo, can I start? Production, can we start doing some sound effects too?
No, I think we're quite fine.
I can provide some sound effects. Hold up, I've got some few sound effects here.
Okay, we don't need those. We don't need those. You can keep those in whatever satanic drawer you pulled them out of. Trust me, I think the audience likes you just how you are, Austin.
Aw, thank you, Avery.
Plain and boring. Tinker closing in on the shrink raid. Balance is going to be nice in this game because there's not a huge amount of spell immunity outside of the tangle. Hook missed on a stun target.
Okay, the Morphling is going to come in, finish him off. Chidori does manage to get it. Oh no, the Lincolns! They didn't know the linkage was up. He still got the Doom Alpha on Chidori. What broke the linkage? Well, it wasn't Jokum as he held on to his Doom. And now with the Doom onto the Morphling, they might be able to run him down, but they need somebody else to do it. Oh no, they just run out of damage. Is now in your dream. He's stuck here without a dismember. He's tanking. He dodges a Fisher. He does what he can, honestly. But in the end, this team fight mid lane is a bit of a disaster. It is going to be 4 heroes for the one. The Rubik is the one person who died.
Chidori just too tanky. And you know why they're tanky. Pipe delivered for that fight. You can't ask for a better timing here on this Brood. I don't think Vivi's in any trouble here.
Yeah. Well, at least he has the shard, so he just walked over the Sprout there. That was nice.
Actually, now he might be.
Wilson's going to catch up here. Pull him back in. Who's going to die first? Oh, enchant totem is just enough. Thank you, Afu. He survives. Moon stuck in the high ground or in the trees here, very low. Yowe cannot afford to be dying again. He blinks in, goes for the kill, he misses, and now Moon's gonna come back. He says, "Were you looking for me?" Uh-oh, laser makes things a little dicey. Yowe, they're trying to juke through the trees. Blink dagger's up. No, the shield crash. Oh, the two-man stun. Now a blink away is available, and he gets away. Moon barely dies to the scorched earth at the same time, while Chidori is caught in a trap. Your pushes the foot away. Yowe will show up once again, breaks through the link into the team, and delivers the final blow.
High five.
You got me once. You're not gonna catch me again. That time, Yowe outplays them.
Damn, that stun. Perfect timing from Jokum as well. This team has good playmakers, dude. They really do. This game's not going too smooth for them, but even in this situation, they're finding some openings. In this mid fight, this is just Pipe. Pipe just wins them this fight flat out. Does so much work on the damage being inflicted. Tinker going down first, of course, is also just... I mean, that just breaks any of the fights over here. That's the problem with Tinker. He's a very double-edged sword. He might 1v5 the fight. He may also just instantly lose you the fight. That's why I said these Tinker games just come down to the Tinker player. Positioning, spell casting, how fast are you? Check your buttons. Hope they're well lubricated.
Well, one button that was not very lubricated in that last fight, the hook, it barely missed on the Broodmother. That was a pretty rough one as well. Greaves is going to be done for mid one for the next team fight, and they say, well, that's good enough. They build the Pudge. They've got Pipe, they've got Mech, they've got Greaves coming in quite soon, and they're going to take Roche on.
Pretty nice Roche. Give it to the Pango or the Morphling here. Be fine with either because you can just push and be aggressive. And with this double aura timing, I would normally say pushing the objectives or going high ground is difficult, but honestly, there's not a huge amount of threat outside of Yowe. So even just forcing people back to areas is going to be nice for SMG. The other route is you can just let Morphling solo push stuff with Aegis and you four-man hit squad it up with smokes. That would probably be the theoretical better outcome here. So in either way, if you're SMG, you should be able to build a nice net worth lead here with this Aegis because you can take over a lot of the map. And I think that's why AEG just want to instantly fight. They don't want to deal with this for too long. But is this the way to do it?
Got him after the waveform there. Meanwhile, Moon is actually hitting a very nice combo. Rolling around with the help of Mid-One. They're going to do a decent amount of damage. You managed to get the roll out onto the Pango, the Doom. On Pango is going to force him away, walk it away. Nice Greaves usage there to be able to get it
Two-man
across.
stun.
Nice two-man stun as well from Yowe. I'm just trying to delay the retreat here, allow anybody from Army Geniuses to be able to follow up the disables that they've been used, but they just don't have enough. Couldn't get the right kind of hook. That was already used earlier on the Morphin.
It's another Doom that just says bye-bye as he walks away.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a decent amount of disengage here for SMG.
Yeah.
Rubik, Force, Glimmer, some fissure blocks you off. There's a lot. You have to be careful about how you take these fights, because Breeze is going to try and man up.
With the freezing field, that feels pretty good. The hook once again off the mark, though.
Man, I really like how the Shaker's been influencing these fights. Just brown boot shard, but it feels like they can't get on top of him, and he's just getting multiple fissures off, multiple stuns off the Echo. It's really hard to play Maiden and Shaker in these fights because you just hold the fissure, you wait for him. You can't really dodge fissure with Tinker if you're playing aggressive until you have Beacon. And I feel like this Tinker is probably going to have to go Beacon in this game at some point.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
This may turn into a rat game here pretty quickly. When you've got Furion and Nature's Prophet, if the game isn't going well now, I feel like it very quickly turns into, okay, just try and survive. As in your dream is going to get burst down. The two supports have to make a run for it, and they probably have to give up this tier too. Again, might be time to just start cutting waves where you can.
And DB cleared their triangle, and he's going to try and cut top, miss the wave, but get the next one. Furion can rat. The issue is you just push here if you're SMG, I think. Because again, that outspam is not that great here for a Tinker lineup. It's annoying, but it's not debilitating. Especially when you have an early Greaves pipe and a Morphling who can just keep morphing. Just keep morphing. I guess you get shrunk.
Yeah. When you go up on that HP, Shrink Ray is being more and more effective in some ways. Take 10% your max HP.
Amazing what you'll find laying around.
I mean, it also shrinks you. It's terrifying.
Yeah, that's not terrifying. Was Honey, I Shrunk the Kids a horror movie to you?
Yeah, but not in the way you think, you know.
Oh no. Freezing Field on the high ground, not bad until the Rolling Thunder not do it. Full supports are going to be sacrificed here, and I feel like we're going to be seeing that a lot, as Marty does end up getting burst down by the last bit of the Frostbite. Well, hey, at least they traded one kill for those two.
See, that movie, it's not the shrinking that's scary. That movie is a warning against the dangers of pot, okay? You know? If you do too much, you get stuck in the grass. It's a metaphor, Cap. Does nobody else realize this whole movie was just a metaphor? You can't get stuck in the weeds forever. You gotta live life.
What does the giant ant represent?
Taxes.
What?
Taxes always come due. You can't hide behind the grass forever. Why,
are you sure you're not stuck in the grass?
Why are you asking me to expound on this terrible, bad, fun joke? I don't even know what it is. It's nothing. Mage Slayer for mid one. This is not a brood I know we see often.
No.
Pretty spicy. I mean, he has a lot of magic resist, I guess, but
I mean, he's gonna go.
With it?
Yeah, I don't think so. But I mean, he's gonna go Bloodborne eventually, right? Looks like he wants Aghanim for the next item, but he gave up tier 2 bottom lane, and they have indeed resorted to just pushing, as you're just in the exact opposite side of the mapping. Your dream does get caught though, trying to go for one more wave.
I mean, does this reduce the damage Doom does? Do you hit the Doom while Doom is when he casts it?
I have no idea.
I think it should, right? Because it's spell damage.
Sure.
That's kind of interesting. But
That is a mechanics question that I don't think we're prepared to answer.
I think it does. As far as I understand, spell damage reduces any damage any spell does, no matter the type or like resistance or anything. as long as you have the debuff when you cast the spell. So this is my assumption of how this works. So that could be interesting if Doom jumps in the fight and you just start right-clicking him.
Sure.
I mean, if you ever hit Tinker, it's cool too, but I just don't see Brood ever right-clicking Tinker in this game. I don't know. This seems a little... The more I think about this Mage Slayer, the more it's a little sus to me. But I feel like I say that a lot about mid-ones builds, and
has been killed.
right now they're winning a lot of games. So who am I to complain?
Does affect spell damage the affected enemy deals? Which
That's right.
would
Their
sound like
final
that applies to
move is
Doom.
called Symphony
Yeah, it
of
should.
Skills.
That should help.
Symphony of Skills. I think AG just want to get to the BKBs here. The BKB is up for DB, and they're building it next on Yowe. I think that's the big timing, because then Tinker can man up in the fight, and you're not afraid of too much outside of Morphling right-clicking you down to death. As this Maiden gets perma-disarmed from killing this ward, that is very sad.
Rough.
The life of a Crystal Maiden. And Afu, he just keeps finding him the whole game, man. Every fissure has been a kill.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This is a non-Aegis. Okay, you just got
Nice
instant.
echo. That's going to be able to catch the Tinker, but they don't actually finish him off. They do manage to kill the support. Yes, In Your Dream's going to start backing up. Yowe's getting some spells off, though. That'll make things... Oh, nice. Turning into the Pudge, getting the hook. That's beautiful. Mid one's going to get run over by Chidori in the end, though, and it is Army Geniuses. They're going to buy back on DB, but it's not looking so good.
The auras are too strong. Got to take a fight here. You do have
Lightning on
BKB
too.
Prophet.
Prophet coming in. Oh, the stuff that misses on everything. Still, though, DB has a BKB. They turn around and try and focus him down for now. Afu on the side is going to get bursted by the Tinker. Vari's freezing field does what it can. Blosin, that's another victim of the Tinker. Yowe looks for more. Wants his team to keep pursuing, see if they can find another opening for a core kill. That would be all important for Army Geniuses to get back into this game, but they just do not find it. They don't have the catch. They don't have the hole.
The stomp can't land. What else is there? There's a frostbite. That's it. I guess you can blink Dismember, but you don't have BKB on Pudge, so it's just not guaranteed. Maybe one's sitting on the cliff. Maybe wants to re-engage. Angle roll back up. And the other issue is the Lincoln Spheres. You got two of them. One on Moon, one on Chidori. There's not a lot that necessarily pops it on the Doom initiation. You kind of have to break it with a Tinker spell and then go in. Multiple force to try and disengage.
Trying to get away from Moon. He catches Yokum. Vari's gets targeted for a second. Actually, the Morphling, they can get the Doom on him. Maybe Yowe, especially with the Blazer. Okay, he wants to blink away from this Broodmother for now. But it looks like the rest of the team might be able to just kill the Morphling without the help of him. And now they got the Gleipnir on the mid one as well. SMG, I feel like they're kind of losing control all of a sudden. This was a perfectly fine game. They got a buyback out of DB, and now they've given up so much worse.
And my question is, why was that the fight, right? Like, was that a necessary fight when you have the second Roche literally just spawned and you're not even pushing base in that type of
Found another one. Gleipnir onto Afu. Force Staff's trying to get him away, but Yowe's pursuing. The Glimmer Cape's going to help out, but the Laser actually bounces over, clips the Earthshaker for a little bit of damage, but he still managed to get away. Still Plosic.
They don't know he's there, but
One to get caught. Ara was going to catch him eventually. Now the mid tower is going to fall. Now Roshan is available for Army Geniuses. They have an opportunity, a real opportunity to completely turn this game around.
This game was at 83%. I don't know what's going to be after this Roche, but it's probably going to be AG favored, maybe. That's just a bad throw. There's no other way around it.
No.
These are just unnecessary deaths and an unnecessary fight at a bad part of the map you don't have vision. On a go that just felt like what was happening. In Your Dream just walks up to Morphling and eats him into a Doom when his BKB is on 3 seconds cooldown. This is just not the way to try and end this game. Now you give away an Aegis and a Shard. Who's gonna take the Shard? That's a big question. They gave it to
the Doom?
What?
They wanted more stun, I guess.
I don't... What? Okay. I mean, I feel like you give it to Pudge or Tinker here.
Well, Tinker?
I would go with those. I mean,
Warp
this one's
Flare?
not bad. It's not bad. It's really annoying on the Morph.
I mean, I could see it as another spell to break Lincoln's, but all right, Chidori. There's enough messing around with this business. Telekinesis, they managed to get a force staff to put him back down on the ground. They give him the shield from the Tinker to try and help out. The Gleipnir trying to keep these heroes at bay. The hook attempted, blocked, or actually not thrown out entirely. Boy, he's still going for it. Oh my God, In Your Dream is such a goddamn madman.
What a beast.
He just did not want to back out. He has the Aegis, of course, but he was willing to go for that +1, a very risky move. Gets it, and now they're going to try and go for even more. He just walks right in. Aegis is going to go out. Yowe in the background, trying to keep SMG honest, keep them from being able to burst down the Pudge a second time. He's got BKB. They broke their Lincolns. They grab him. Not quite. Oh, no. Doesn't have it, and Chidori's beginning to get away here. Moon does manage to kill the Doom finally with the swashbuckle, and it looks like Pudge is going to be left behind. A little bit too aggressive, it seems. Oh, DB! He teleported into that fight. Did not know that SMG had some vision there, it seems.
It's just a massive overextension. Again, I understand Shaker's dead, but just chasing uphill like that that's tough, man. That is a tough call. They also ran out of mana on this Doom. They had no Doom. Even after the Lincoln pop, they would have got it. It's just not there.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Gotta respect the tank ability from this SMG lineup, especially in a fight like that. And Yowe has BKB. He's gonna have to use it. Get dismembered though. That didn't go in
that's
favor.
really awkward. He can't blink away. Too much damage too quick. Vari's gonna die right next to him. That is probably just GG. Had an opportunity to get a comeback, and then they threw it right back to SMG. A little game of ball back and forth between these two teams. Very nice of them.
Why not, you know? Sometimes the enemy dares you to throw and you say, hold my beer. I'll show you how to throw a fight. I mean, this
well,
throw
it's
is
going to be
less
at least Megas.
I think it just is Megas. No buys. I guess yeah, no buys. It's just game. It's only if you're playing versus Megas here. Afu solo smoked bottom.
It is a Tinker Furion lineup. I wouldn't be surprised if they tried playing up against Megas.
I mean, they'll try, but I don't see them coming back in this game.
Or am I?
I like that SMG. Don't just back out. They go in while the Tinker is still dead. And Echo Sand quickly stopping the Doom from being able to get off his ultimate. So now still another 2 dead with no buybacks. As long as Moon doesn't throw away his life here, actually manages to kill the Crystal Maiden without risking it. And now it's just the Furion. Oh, nice force staff there. Hapu forces DB in, and they still have the dismember of Pelos, and now they finally call it GG. Well played. SMG is going to make Army Geniuses tap out. They're not going to give them a chance at playing up against Megas.
Well, last pick Pangolier works out. Pretty decent game from Moon and Chidori here, on top of, I think, Afu. Afu has been playing the Shaker really well. It's one of his old school heroes, but they get away with it in lane, and then even if they maybe don't, I feel like it suits them because SMG tends to win their off lane through mid one and set that lane up for success in terms of the draft and what they're playing. They seem very confident that lane's going to go well based on like picking these Dooms and Broods and picking a strong 4. So I feel like when you play the Shaker 5, you kind of want your off lane to do really well, so you have some cores and tempo to play around, which SMG has. It's another reason I think this hero works for them. But it just looks so damn good in the fights when you can get away with it. Like, he can just sit back there as a 5, constantly throw out these fissures with the chain stun. It sets up everything for their cores. Pretty decent game from SMG outside of that Roshan throw that kind of almost gave AG away back in this game. But this is another loss where we see Pudge versus Brood, and yeah, I just don't buy it, man. I do not buy this Pudge Brood counter. I just rather have the Brood. Even if your lane's terrible, like, who cares? I just feel like Pudge is not good in the fights versus hero that much. You're hooking Brood means you're getting caught up with like items that don't really match his pace in terms of contesting the Roshan. That feels like another downside. I don't know. I'm not sold on that. I don't want to see that garbage anymore. Get it out of here.
Well, I'm not sure if I want to see 4 position Doom again, though I would be okay with maybe the Tinker again, but we'll see what adjustment RB Geniuses do going into game number 2, and we'll see if our panel has any fresh ideas.
Gotta love the way that Southeast Asia plays Dota. You never call GG until it's mega creeps and there's a team wipe. But SMG take game 1. Were you guys expecting this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Not me, but yeah.
Not you?
I expected them to win as a team, but after the draft, I felt like AG had this timings where they hit BKB and they were stronger. I think I also saw in the game that Chidori didn't really itemize for damage. There was this one fight where Pudge was just in, you know, and it looked like there was a glimmer of hope there, but at the end of the day, I guess SMJ just seemed to be more fast-paced, I guess. They were more ready for the moves.
Yeah.
I'm a simple person. Brute, best offlaner, best offlane hero. Morphling, best carry. Easy game.
Why? Elaborate on that statement. Why do you think these heroes are so good?
I mean, like what Avery said makes a lot of sense, you know. Like even though, sure, you give away the Brute, you have this idea of a Pudge that counters the Brute. But later in the team fights, it's pretty annoying, you know. Like he has the pipe, the mech, and he even has this mage layer that's really good against the Pudge in the team fights. And I mean, I don't feel like they played the lane correctly, for sure, with the Pudge CM. Like, don't you feel like they were just trying to last hit creeps, farm too much, where in this lane, you should always be trying to, especially as the Pudge, right? You have to always be positioning yourself that you can always have a chance of landing a hook. So the CM is like standing on the side on trees, and then the CM is able to pull, like, okay, get ready, and I'm gonna bite right now because you only have 1 second. So if you're last hitting creeps and then suddenly the CM bites a hero, you generally don't have time to run to the side and get the hook off. So you have to be ready first.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those lanes where both sides kind of have a power spike. I think Brute's like level 3 or level 2 and level 3. Whereas Pudge is level 4 when he gets the flash heap, or before Brute hits 2, which is level 1, I guess.
I mean,
the frostbite hook.
The reason you pick CM and Pudge against the Brute is mainly because you should be able to kill the Brute at least once, twice in the laning phase to slow her down. Like I feel like if you pick the CM Pudge and you don't kill the Brute in the lane, it's a pretty waste of the pick, in my opinion.
I've never seen Pudge beat Brute in lane. Never,
Really?
ever.
I feel like the only time mid one died in the lane was because of greedy and diving.
That's true too.
I mean, isn't it because people are playing the lane wrong? Because as CM and Pudge, you should always not focus on farming, but you should focus on trying to set up for kills. If you're trading farm, just focusing on last hitting, and then the CM, because in the lane, in the first, when you're level 2, in the first wave, okay, I think it's fine if you use the Nova to get the creeps, but as soon as you are level 2, you have 2 spells, and the Pudge level 2, you should always be already actively looking for kills, you know. You shouldn't just try to, because what they're doing, they're just trying to, okay, the Pudge is just dragging the creep aggro, trying to deny the creeps. CM's like, okay, I last hit the range creep. That's not how the lane should go, you know. You should always be trying to get the kill in the lane, at least even kill the Rubik, you know. If the Rubik is dead, then the Brute will have to be more defensive in the lane.
Well, here's our match MVP, Afu on the Earthshaker, playing really well. What was it you were going to say, Adam?
I was gonna say, never mind. Let's talk about Afu first. I think Afu was super fast this game.
Yeah.
Everywhere AG went, Afu was already in the trees before they arrived. You know, he's like so much of a setup. I also think like this, I spoke about how they play around the call a lot. I feel like they drafted around the Shaker with this Pango pick. Because looking at AG's heroes, I don't think it was like a, wow, pick me Pango, I'm gonna win. But with the Shaker, we saw like the 2-man smoke Fisher, and then he rolled against the Fisher like 4 times.
Yeah.
It looks like they're just trying to enable the supports on their team a lot, you know, and like enable their draft to come together, which is kind of, I guess, gives me like the OG vibes, you know, with Jarex Thompson before, where they play like this tiny Shaker or MK Shaker. It's kind of cool to watch.
Yeah. Well, I've got some more exciting news for you guys. There is this cool tournament thing called Continent of Extremes coming up for ePulse, and you can use this promo code down here. It's DPC23 Spring over here for 7 days free of Prime. And what is Prime, you may be asking? ePulse has their community tournaments on their website, and with Prime you can get extra money, extra free, no ads. You can get free entry to their community tournaments, so you have to go check them out. They have got like a ton of different kinds of tournaments. They got 1v1s, 5v5s, and yeah, they're for anyone to join. So you guys should go take a look, use this code for 7-day free Prime. But yeah, that was only the first game. We got a 3-game series, maybe 2 games. Depends if SMG wins this one, but SMG are looking like a huge contender to really go in the major now. Like the deal is almost sealed. They got Bleed to play next, but I mean, you know, this is the biggest one this is the biggest battle they're gonna have to fight. But we will see who wins next game after a short little break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
My dear true Yarans, we won. I will be more than El Presidente de Yara. I will be the Lion of Yara. Yara will once again be the paradise we have dreamed of.
Far Cry, Rise of the Revolution.
Ozzy, are you going to help me pack these boxes or what? We've got a flight to England.
Hang on, Sharon, I want to play with my PlayStation VR too. Is that a friendly dinosaur? Oh my God, what the is that? Ah! Oh no! Sharon! This is amazing!
PlayStation.
I think I'll try the RB2.
Sure thing.
If you drink and drive, the consequences are in your hands.
Oh, that looks really tasty. What is that, just like a regular coffee with some cookies?
Yeah, but if you get cookies with your coffee, you're
Are you
some
psycho?
expensive place.
Yeah, not a kopitiam for sure.
I see, it's
ain't
fancy.
Cookies in no kopitiam here.
It's too fancy. Well, welcome back, everybody. We are back for the SMG AG series, where SMG just took the first game. I'm your host, Sophie, and I'm here with Winter and Adam. How you guys doing?
Together we're Adam.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh,
Hey
yeah,
guys,
the
how
other
you
way
doing?
around, I guess. But yeah, I mean, how are you guys doing after that first game? Were you expecting? I mean, clearly you said that SMG looks stronger to win when we were playing, but I feel like at the draft we were like, oh, AG looks like they've got potential.
He likes the AG draft.
Yeah, it was just me. Winter was right.
Winter was right. His
Alright.
dinner is saved.
No, who said I bet on dinner today? Today is like
This lunch.
Today's
Today-
lunch.
today is too risky for my dinner or lunch.
I
So you
see.
do believe in AG? Somewhat.
They've got a chance to win.
Yeah.
You think?
I think Winter was talking about it earlier, how if they shouldn't give the brute, it's because they don't look too comfortable playing against it. I think my personal opinion is that Dream doesn't look like he plays Pudge very well compared to when he plays these like life stealers and stuff.
I mean, it's not just that, right? When you play Pudge, the whole draft dynamics has to be
Revolve around
reset.
you.
Because normally they play like a lane holder, like on the safe lane, so your other heroes are not so greedy and they don't farm as much. And I feel like he's kind of overcompensating that game. When he was playing the Pudge, he was trying to farm, like he doesn't want to take farm away from the other players, but he's taking farm where he shouldn't, and he just keeps feeding. I feel like he should be farming on the other side and let the Doom take the riskier farm. Like he has to still prioritize his own,
BKB.
like, yeah, his BKB and everything. He needs to try to. He can't just sack himself too much,
Actually, what I've noticed is out of all the games that AG has won, there's only one game where they've won 2-0, which is against Blacklist. So I guess 2-1 is kind of their thing.
Not today, maybe.
But maybe not today. after SMG, they look really good.
SMG is very, very solid. Everything they are doing in the game, sure they have some minor mess ups. During the Roshan when they are pushing the high ground. But overall, you look from the draft. You start from the draft. You look at how they prepare their opening picks, the opening bands. Everything has a purpose. They're picking really, really solid heroes. No fancy hoodwink off lane. Nothing no shenanigans. Everything is just serious business. At every point in the game, everybody is like just really focused on what they're doing and just playing the game well.
All right, well, let's take a look at the serious draft we're going to get from SMG, the no shenanigans draft. And thank you, Sven, for cheesy tangos.
Cheesy wedges.
I feel like that'd be kind of nasty.
Cheesy tangos?
Yeah.
I mean, if they heal you more.
The MP Pugna, the classic AG
Not
pick.
if you have lactose intolerance.
That is true. Quite common in SEA.
Pyro, tiny, brute. Oh.
Okay, so what changed? The Bat Rider, right? The last game they banned. Who was it that banned? It was AG that banned Bat Rider, was it?
No, it was SMG that
SMG.
banned Bat Rider.
So now the ban is just the Brute for the Bat Rider. So as we suspected, they do not want to deal with the Brute anymore. I mean, what's stopping SMG from picking Bat Rider here?
I don't think they play it like recently. I've not seen them play this season.
But don't you feel like, okay, you open with MP, the enemy opens with two heroes that's shit against Bat Rider. Shouldn't you consider at least to pick the Bat Rider? Or you don't want Bat Rider with Nature's Prophet, it depends on what's your opening.
I think that's probably right. I think you don't want... I think if you pick Coddle, then you pick Ember. If you pick NP, you probably just want an enabler. Like the Rubik here, for example. Just the lane's good.
Yeah.
It's good in the game. This looks like another pretty good Rubik game.
Yeah, the Rubik is also good against the Earthshaker response, and Rubik is also good against the Bugna. A lot of amazing spells that you can steal, especially if you get the Nether Ward. That'll be very annoying for the Pugna.
What do you think about the Pugna Earthshaker opening?
I think it's very edgy. Because they flex the Pugna, right? 3 and 5. And I guess Shaker is just something they wanted to take away from SMG, which I do respect. Afu did do a lot last game.
What do you feel about the Pugna position 5 and position 3?
I think it's good against certain heroes.
Is it good
For
against,
example,
is it good against MP because they picked it against the MP opening?
I think it's decent in the lane because NP can't really, if you have things to clear the treants. Because before, what happens is he puts the treants on you and then you just kind of get right click. But Pugna's a fast hero, so he runs around. Not a huge fan of the post tree, but I think the Shaker kind of compensates for that because you pull the wave back, right? So he can't really run you down.
You secure his lane because he's very weak at level 1. You need to figure out how to get him to level 3, level 4.
It's also a kill combo, right? Just decrypt life drain with Fisher. A lot of damage.
I mean, when you get levels, sure.
Yeah.
When you're level 1 to level 3, level 4, you don't really deal that much damage. Even if you decrap and then you land the fissure and you do maximum damage, still, it's not a lot.
Not a fan of the Pugna opening. I think the hero's decent, but I think you usually want to see a place in the game for it before you pick it.
Actually, now that I think of it, shouldn't you have open with Clockwork at number 8 when you see Earthshaker Pugna? Shouldn't Clockwork
I think it's more like Pulse and Rubik. Bam. Like Comfort. SMG is very like in the zone right now.
Because Clockwork is like one of the heroes that Pugna really doesn't want to look at in the team fights.
Yeah, I guess they made a choice. Because if they picked the Clockwork, they wouldn't have got the Rubik. I think Afu doesn't really mind playing other heroes as well. So like Nyx, for example, could be kind of pog here.
So SMG bans out the Bat, the Naga, and the Ursa. The Naga is also for the MP. If you are deciding to put MP on off lane, Naga safe lane carry is pretty good against MP. Ursa, I guess, another just a comfort hero. Or why do you feel like they ban Ursa when you have MP?
They banned it last game as well. I think it just gets out of Sprout. Again, Ursa with this CM, for example, can just constantly kill you in the lane. And it also gives AG Roche, which is something they've been playing around this whole season.
But let me ask you, if you are talking about like Roche, right, and you're banning out Ursa, like what makes it so that you ban Ursa instead of TA? Since TA is something that AG really likes to pick as well, you know?
It could be just that Ursa is good against NP, in the sense that you're a Battle Fury buyer, your lane's okay, and you have Urshock to get out of Sprout later in the game.
And TA, you have to buy, what, Hurricane Pike for that?
Yeah.
I guess it's probably the timings as well, right?
Oh, new hero.
Like TA is much more faster pace, but Ursa is like if you're playing for more greedy draft, you're going late game, Ursa tends to fare better that way. But ET plus Morphing combo, I like the aura combos, you know, because Morphing does a lot of spell damage, and ET is like, he loves playing around heroes that does a lot of spell damage.
I like the ET as well, just because AG, I think whatever they want to pick here is kind of like TBPL kind of territory.
I
is
mean, would you
good.
say that ET is pretty good against Pugna since you can?
I think it's good because you
cancel-
stop in the fights, right? Like you have a spirit on him.
Yeah, then
I think in the lane it's hard.
he cannot do much in the team fights. But yeah, in the lane it's a different story.
But you have a morph, right? So you don't really care. Like you're just gonna buy regen, take damage, and eventually morph hits level 3 or 4 with range up, and you don't care anymore.
Should they pick like some Storm here right away? Because they are very light in disable. SMG heroes, they don't have stuns, so.
They need a hero to play with the Mirana, I believe.
Ember?
Ember into morph, not a huge fan. I guess I see a Storm a bit more.
The Storm is like, I feel like a win condition already right now. Like, the 4 heroes that SMG has, they are pretty terrible against Storm. Like, the only reliable way is to lift. And it's not that easy to, get the Storm, when the other heroes don't have any stuns and the whole team is just waiting for the Rubik to lift someone so you guys can kill him. Chaos Knight?
Ooh.
Again, fitting the criteria of AG's you live in the safe lane. Pretty strong lane. They kind of lost their safe lane last game, so
CK Mirana?
why? Yeah, it's pretty strong. It's good against both.
How good is it against the Nature's Prophet though? Because you can always use the creep to your summons to block the arrow. Just micro it around when every time the Chaos Knight goes on you, you have to make sure that you have some treants around you to block the arrow.
Okay,
I assume that's the lane, right? Unless
Yeah, you're probably right. But I think you don't need arrow in this lane. I think arrow's cool, but like level 2 Star
So
Storm.
you still go for Star Storm like how you normally
Yeah,
play?
I think so. Just because of like what you said, right? Like you can tree and block. So you don't need to play for this pick-off style because I think you're outright stronger. In this.
So you probably don't even get arrow until level 4? Am I
I
correct?
would think so. Curious to see how he'll end up playing it. I think CK fits like the picture, right? This TV kind of hero, but CK is more aggression, so it's like somewhat middle ground of what both of us said, where I think they need a hero to do something, and I think they need a illusion hero.
And the last hero for SMG should be a stun, right? Initiating hero. I don't see anything else. They can't be too greedy with
Just
their...
Tango again.
Yeah, they can't be too greedy with their last hero. Everyone else feels already very heavy. I mean, would you favor Ember more than Pango because of the Elder Titan? You can use the aura.
I like the Pango a bit more just because I think it's really good against Pugna and CK. I think Ember can die here.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
Pango's banned.
So they don't have the Pango, they don't have the Kanka. So that would mean that only the spirits are remaining. How about is there anything else?
It's like DK with slow Mars. Interesting.
Mars. I
Not
mean,
what I
Mars.
expected.